Welcome to Alaska Weather, a production of Alaska Public Media and the National Weather Service, Alaska Region. Produced and broadcast daily from the studios of KAKM, Alaska Weather provides complete forecasts, public, marine, and aviation for all of Alaska. Alaska Weather is made possible by the following sponsors.
Alyeska Pipeline Service Company, fueling philanthropic programs and dedicated to creating educational and professional opportunities for Alaska Native people.
The National Weather Service.
Hello again, everyone, and thanks for joining us for this Saturday's edition of Alaska Weather. On the breakup map today, open water here, the entire stretch of the Yukon River, and of course the Kuskokwim and Tanana. And for the Koyukuk up here, quite an area of open water as well. And even the Kobuk River, or the Koyukuk River here, whichever one it is, has got quite a bit of open area on it, and the Noatak River breaking up. Still have some open areas, meaning some ice in here back on the Porcupine, and really just kind of waiting for these North Slope rivers, Colville and the others, to begin to break up. And moving on to satellite pictures. Front well off into Canada today and this afternoon, but the upper level trough moving right onto the central coast there. So a bunch of showers occurring across the southeast coast today, with the heaviest amounts occurring down in the south. Things got a lot more scattered up to the north and ended back to the west here. There was some moisture streaming in over the Copper River Basin area early on right in here. Some of that slipped on up to the north and brought some shower activity with it into that area. And then another line of showers right through here, kind of popping up and being triggered this afternoon with the afternoon heating, but lots of sunshine to the south, lots of sunshine to the north, or especially back to the northwest there. And then a band of moisture here bringing some light rain right along the southwest coast, and mostly just clouds off to the southwest of that, with very light rainfall amounts. Heavier stuff back here to the southwest over the Alaska Peninsula, back up toward the Pribilos, but even that didn't amount to very much at all. And we're watching another development, or this back here, this whole area will be sliding northeastward and northward over the next 24 hours. Otherwise, on the chart today, there's a position of that front right out through here that brings some pretty gusty winds along with the rain to the Alaska Peninsula, with cold basing gusts to about 45 miles per hour this afternoon. Otherwise, lighter winds here along the southwest coast. And rainfall amounts ranged from about 1/4 of an inch at Falls Pass to 1/10 of an inch at St. Paul, and also back at Adak, where a few lingering showers occurred. Some low clouds and fog, along with some areas of light snow, occurred today, especially this morning there along the central and eastern Arctic coast, but not bad down in the interior, and just a few scattered showers right through here from the upper Yukon Valley areas back down to the southwest. And a lot of sunshine south central Alaska into the valleys, and those showers here over the Copper River Basin extending northward. Northway, Delta, Eagle had at some point in the day today had some shower activity, and the showers over the southeast coast there. Main surface low off the coast this afternoon, but the upper level trough right over the area and pulling eastward slowly into western Canada. So expect those showers to begin to taper off, but they won't end completely tonight there. They'll just sort of diminish slowly, and especially in the north, probably won't see much at all up through here. The trough pushing slowly eastward there. Wind flow becoming a little more northwesterly, west-northwesterly, but on the light side there, high pressure up over the Gulf of Alaska into the southeast interior. So light winds, variably cloudy skies through this area. Just isolated showers over portions of the interior, but most of the interior just about will be precipitation free, with mostly cloudy conditions up into the interior, becoming partly cloudy off to the northwest. High pressure up on the Arctic coast keeps IFR conditions there and into the north slope, especially on the east side here, with possible flurries continuing in areas of fog. This front pushing northward here and gradually coming eastward later tonight. So better chance of rain over Kodiak Island, especially here for the Aleutian Range into Bristol Bay, with mostly west of King Salmon, right up across the deltas to St. Lawrence Island. Pretty good chance of moisture. Another trough swinging some showers into the eastern Aleutians, and yet another trough will keep showers going out over the central Aleutian areas. And then for tomorrow, we'll see this area begin to spread some rain into Cook Inlet, coming northward throughout the afternoon hours. Periods of rain and fog, Kodiak Island. Periods of rain at times anywhere over the southwest interior from Bristol Bay right up into Norton Sound across St. Lawrence Island. And look for some showers to develop in a narrow band there along that trough axis in the interior. But to the south, fair conditions, although again increasing mid and high level clouds from northern Cook Inlet and the Susitna Valley, and even to the Copper River Basin as you get on toward the afternoon. Otherwise, the southeast coast starting out in the morning with some lingering showers along the border there, but by the afternoon it should be just about over, so it may not be a completely dry day, but the afternoon definitely will be, and hopefully be some partial clearing in the cloud deck as well. Out to the west, another front driving eastward there, bringing some gusty winds and rain into the western Aleutians. And then for Monday, the original front kind of brings the rain across south central Alaska tomorrow night and into early Monday, and it pulls off to the east, so changing to showers and ending here over Cook Inlet, but kind of hanging on northern Susitna Valley up to Denali. And see some periods of rain over the eastern Copper River Basin areas, showers north of the mountains there in the Tanana Valley, back across the Koyukuk, and moisture increasing, probably spreading rain by later in the afternoon here right into the northwest panhandle, Elfin Cove, back definitely over toward Yakutat, and general increase in the cloudiness across the southeast coast, but mostly dry down to the south, and mostly cloudy, isolated showers there. Kodiak Island and the Alaska Peninsula. This next front bringing a little bit stronger winds into the southwest coast, looking at small craft advisories from there up across the northern Bering Sea and towards St. Lawrence Island, and gusty winds and rain coming across eastern Aleutians late tomorrow night and early on Monday. Advance over to the Alaska Peninsula in the afternoon. No change on the Arctic coast. Same story up there, low clouds and fog, maybe some flurries along the coast, better conditions inland, and lots of showers and breezy conditions there out over the Aleutians. Temperatures today starting out along the southeast coast, 40s with 49 at Skagway, 46 down at Klawock, and mid-40s here for the Sitka, Port Alexander area. About the same in Yakutat as well, but more sunshine allowing temperatures into the lower to mid-50s here over Prince William Sound, south central Alaska, Kodiak Island, mid to upper 40s with upper 40s to lower 50s, Copper River Basin. About the same here in the Tanana Valley. Up to 54 at Tanana, they reported some shower activity, 53 at McGrath, and northward 55 in Bettles, but just 30 at Anatuvik, down to 25 at Umiat Airfield, and in the teens there on the central Arctic coast from Wainwright over to Dead Horse, and then you jump up 10 degrees there at Kaktovik, and 20s to lower 30s here over the northwest, but no attack up to 46. 42 in Nome, while White Mountain had 52, 28 Unalakleet is not correct, 28 at Savunga is correct, and 25 at Tin City. Otherwise, mid-40s here out along the coast, 50s inland, but just 41 at Bethel, and lower 40s for the Pribilofs with rain ending there, kind of a foggy afternoon. Mid-40s, Alaska Peninsula become upper 40s up over Bristol Bay. Mid-40s central Aleutians, but Shumia just 39. And temperatures tonight, teens north of the mountains, 30s and 40s to the south, upper 30s and lower 40s for the Panhandle. Highs for tomorrow, mid-50s to lower 60s, right through the central interior from the upper Yukon Valley back down in toward Bristol Bay. Otherwise, 40s and 50s elsewhere. Flying weather, IFR in the Arctic coast, North Slope tomorrow. Lots of IFR out here over the Bering Sea, right up to the coastline. And then for tomorrow afternoon, becoming VFR here across the Panhandle. Good VFR through most of the state, but this area increasing from southwest to north-northeast throughout the day, with some IFR developing there along the western Alaska Range. Passes Anaktuvik, Adigan, no problems there. Lake Clark and Merrill, marginal becoming IFR, especially on the eastern approach. And for windy VFR, the one that was missing rainy, becoming marginal VFR in the afternoon. And from Mentasta, VFR, Tanita, VFR, Portage, VFR, and Chilkoot and White, marginal early, becoming VFR. 2,000 to 4,000 foot freezing levels up through here, mostly around 4,000 feet over the southern part of the state, as well as the southeast coast. A little milder here up across Kodiak Island, but 4,000 feet right out into the Bering Sea. Icing looks like this with the incoming moisture, chance of some icing Kodiak Island, spreading northward into Cook Inlet, extending back to the northwest there to St. Lawrence Island and the Bering Strait. Icing free here in the east, and then some more icing pushing into the western Aleutians. For the winds aloft chart, there's that upper trough slowly, finally pulling into western Canada there. Still a pretty good northwest jet here right off the coastline, but those showers should be over by noon and beyond. Another sharp trough out here to the west, and high pressure right up across the Gulf of Alaska into southern interior. Northwest 20 knots here for the Panhandle, south-southwest 25 knots up to 30 knots there toward the Bering Strait. Otherwise lighter here over the interior, and 3,000 foot winds south to north, but just 5 to 10 knots. Light winds now for the southeast coast, and southwesterlies 15, picking up to 35 knots out west. Turbulence, not a whole lot. About the bumpiest conditions will be out here over the far western Aleutians with a little bit more wind. Otherwise light to very isolated moderate there for the Alaska Peninsula and the southwest areas up to St. Lawrence Island. And after the break, I'll be back with the marine forecasts.
When wildfires occur, homes and the landscape interact with natural forces. And the results are often devastating. Though the vast and varied beauty of our country offers endless landscaping opportunities, no region is safe from wildland fire. Of special concern are the areas where dwellings abut forests, often referred to as the wildland-urban interface. Often thought to be a problem in only western states, major wildland fires have occurred all across the United States. In 1985, 400 homes were lost in Florida in a matter of hours. In 1987, more than 2,400 fires spread over the rich forest lands in Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. In 1988, natural fires destroyed individual homes and threatened small towns on the edges of Yellowstone National Park. In 1991, the worst interface fire in recent U.S. history literally incinerated over 3,000 homes in Oakland, California in only a few hours. Forest fires, house fires. More and more, the two are inseparable, and the potential exists all over the country during wildfire season. In this program, we'll explore several factors that make wildland-urban interface fires so destructive, including seasonal effects, natural forces, and people. We'll look at fire growth and behavior, and how they are affected by arrangement and type of fuels, the terrain, wind, and finally, we'll have a brief look at landscape principles, from site evaluation and plant selection to placement and maintenance, all of which can help protect a home from an advancing wildfire. In a typical year, wildfires begin in the southeastern states in spring. Dry winters the previous year caused grasses and trees to become combustible, and wildfires occur in the northeast and the southwestern states. The changing jet stream continues to warm the continent, and the westernmost states experience numerous wildland fires in the mid to late summer. Finally, the annual wildfire season ends as fall drying increases the frequency of wildfires in the northeast, southeast, and southwest. Wildfire is nature's way of clearing dead materials from the forest, enriching the soil, and preparing the earth for new growth. Following the Yellowstone fires, grasses and plants not seen in the park for generations reappeared, given new life by sunlight falling once again through forest canopies, warming newly enriched soil. The wildfire problem, though, is not limited to nature. As people move into areas where wildfires have occurred for centuries, they add fuels that can accelerate the spread of fire. Whether simple cabins, mobile homes, or large, expensive developments, all are constructed in the wakes of past fires and in the path of future fires. When firefighters are called to fires in these areas, their limited resources force the choice between attacking the fire or defending the home. Homeowners in or near wildland areas must assume some responsibility for protecting their property. But even with widespread media coverage that accompanies major fires, many remain unaware of how wildfires behave or the preventive actions they can take to defend themselves and their homes. Fire in any environment follows a path controlled by the amount and type of fuel, the contours of the terrain, and wind, its velocity and direction. Fire needs fuel, something to burn, like grass, trees, or the homes nestled among them. To an interface fire, homes and other structures become merely fuel. Fires start and burn rapidly in light fuels, like grass, which in turn provides a path to trees. Once at the base of a tree, fire can move into low branches and climb to the top or crown. This arrangement, known as ladder fuels, is one of the more significant ways wildfires gain strength and power. The slope of the terrain is also a major factor in a wildfire spread and intensity. The flame on a match lingers and eventually dies as long as the fuel remains level. But if a match is held at an angle, the fire burns hotter and faster as it climbs. This is the way wildfire spreads. The fire heats and dries fuels above it, causing them to burn. Many homes have been lost because they were located in the upward path of a fire. Wind is also a major factor. Fires need air to continue burning, and large fires need a lot of air. Wind can cause wildfires to grow quickly, to die down, to change direction, or even to move downhill as fast as they do uphill. Burning leaves can be deposited on and around structures. These spot fires can grow, and their combined heat can cause a structure to burn well in advance of the wildfire. Similarly, a house fire can release embers which spread to other homes and trees. But a home's chances of survival can be improved through the careful planning and design of the structure and the area around it. This area is often referred to as defensible space. And it is here that landscape professionals create both visual harmony and fire safety, using appropriate landscape design principles. Evaluating a property for the initial design depends, of course, on the structure, the terrain, and soil types. Site evaluation is also affected by other factors, including existing structures, lot configuration, and natural vegetation. Experience has shown that landscape design is one of the most important factors in a home's survival. When beginning the design process, consider the following fire safety issues. The location of the home on the lot contributes to its safety from wildfire. Located on a steep slope, this home is in danger from wildfire climbing the slope, and the chances of igniting the structure are increased drastically. The goal, then, is to develop a landscape whose design and choice of plants offer the best fire protection. The selection of plants and mulches, the placement and construction of patios and decks, and areas such as driveways and walks provide opportunities both to enhance the property and to provide an added degree of fire protection. Many techniques and ideas will help address the issues of fire-wise planning, but none can guarantee complete safety. A good fire-wise landscape is dependent on other factors, such as the condition and maintenance of the neighboring property. Fire does not respect boundary lines. An ideal strategy would be to surround the house with things that simply will not burn. But nothing is fireproof. Consider these basic guidelines for designing fire safety into landscape designs. Reduce or eliminate highly flammable plants, especially those that overhang chimneys and roofs, and clear away dead brush and wood regularly. Eliminate ladder fuels, which enable a fire to climb into low-hanging branches of trees and then to the home. Pruning tree branches 6 to 10 feet helps reduce the ladder effect. Driveways, open expanses of lawn, and walkways can interrupt a fire's path. The analyses of wildland-urban interface fires shows that as the distance of dense, flammable vegetation from a house increases, so do its chances of survival. A well-maintained lawn or ground cover provides an effective and attractive defensible space by keeping fire a safe distance from the house. It also provides firefighters an area to locate equipment and hoses to further protect the structure. Trees should be carefully spaced to reduce the density of vegetation. The removal of flammable debris interrupts the fire's path. Some designs use mulch, such as pine needles, as natural walkways. A more fire-conscious selection is the use of rock for walkways instead of the more traditional and flammable mulch. These guidelines provide only a framework for creating fire-safe landscapes. Remember, fire safety doesn't mean stripping away everything from around the home. Although dead leaves can allow fire to spread, removing all leaf litter depletes the soil of nutrients. And though pruning is a sound way to eliminate ladder fuels, improper pruning damages plants and trees and disrupts the environmental balance of the property. Landscapes that are easy for homeowners to maintain are more desirable than highly complex arrangements that are neglected. Over time, plants grow and spread. Mulches dry out. Leaves and pine needles accumulate. All contribute to the fuels from which a fire grows. Proper maintenance improves appearance and helps protect the structure from wildfire. For centuries, the solitude and peace of nearby wildlands has lured many away from the confinements and pressures of urban life. We should encourage those who live there to be wise about the landscape. Indeed, fire-wise.
The southeast coastal areas, northwesterlies 15 to 20 knots on the outer coastline. Inside waters a little more variable, becoming northwest 15 for Clarence Strait. And Frederick Sound, Stevens Passage, variable to southwest 15 knots. Afternoon winds up to 20 there for northern Lynn Canal. And for the Monday outlook, same thing here for Lynn Canal, south 15 in the central inner channels. No change down south. Northwest 20 knots for the coast, and just west 10 to 15. And with those seas running 5 to 6 feet, no small craft advisories out in those areas. For the Prince William Sound, northern Cook Inlet, light southwest or variable southwest at about 10 with slight seas. A little brisker there through the south of the Forelands at 20 knots, otherwise southwest or south-southwest 15 to 20 knots here, Kodiak Island, also across the North Gulf Coast. And Monday, a little more southeasterly now, 20 knots across the Barren Islands into Kamishak Bay, but staying light for Cook Inlet. Same thing for Prince William Sound. Southeast 15 to 20 here, 15 knots across Kodiak Island, and pretty light winds for the North Gulf Coast in the 10 to 15 knot range. For Bristol Bay, south 20 tomorrow, and that extends here all the way down the north side of the peninsula. To the south, though, we've got small craft advisories, so those southerly winds with 10 to 12-foot seas. Then for Monday, south 30 knots, so a pretty stiff breeze there blowing across the peninsula. Southeast 20 for Bristol Bay. Out west, the Aleutians, Fox Islands, west-southwest 15 to 20 knots tomorrow, and picking up to about 20 knots for Adak and Atka. Then stronger winds, but staying below gale force for the western Aleutians. and small craft advisories just about everywhere here from the south or southwest across all of the Aleutians. We do have some gales now, especially for Unalaska Island, south 35 knots in the forecast for Monday. Southwest coast, southeast 20 tomorrow, small craft or brisk wind advisories, small craft advisories for the east of 25 knots for St. Lawrence Island. Then for Monday, south 30 knots, Pribilofs here up along the southwest coast, north of Nunivak Island, more southeasterly at the same speed, and small craft advisories, St. Lawrence Island, northern Bering Sea. Arctic coast, easterlies 10 to 15 knots here over much of the area, turning a little more northeast, but on the light side there from Cape Beaufort to Cape Thompson down to Wales, northeast at 15. And then those turn southeast there, going to see some southerly influence coming up into this area. So southeast 20 knots from Wales right up to Cape Beaufort, east 20 knots for the western coast, east 10 to 15 there for the central and east side. And for tonight, again, showers slowly diminishing, but probably won't end completely overnight tonight, except up here to the north or back to the west. With high pressure, partly cloudy skies over southeast interior areas. Not too bad up over the interior as well. This system bringing more rain in across Bristol Bay and pushing it inland over the southwest interior, which tomorrow pushes even farther to the east and north here with rain back across St. Lawrence Island, southern Seward Peninsula into Cook Inlet. Fair skies though and dry for the southeast coast, isolated showers with that trough up to the north. And then that front weakens and the moisture comes across southern Alaska tomorrow night into early Monday, ending from west to east here. So kind of a wet day for the southeast interior. Clouds increase along the southeast coast, and here's wind and rain associated with that front. Have a great evening.
These forecasts are to be used for planning purposes only. Call 1-800-WX-BRIEF for a formal pre-flight briefing. Always file a flight plan before you go flying. The U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary urges you to leave a float plan with a friend or the harbor master before you go boating. Alaska Weather is made possible by the following sponsors.
The National Weather Service.